Where the hell is Dolby Vision? Microsoft. Hello players, since the Windows 10 Creators Update way back when, Windows 10 and 11 have supported HDR. I use the word supported loosely because historically Windows HDR implementation has been messy at best. But you won't see very much of Dolby Vision in Windows, so let's find out why and what we can do about it. Now you might see Dolby Vision supported in a handful of games, and that's quite literally a handful because there's only about 5 games that actually support Dolby Vision. Whilst HDR10 on the other hand is gaining a lot of support in both newer games and even some older games are being updated to support HDR10. And we'll circle back around to games in a minute, but the same is true for video as well. There is only one app by default that can support Dolby Vision, and that is the terrible Films and TV app. Kodi, Plex and even the almighty VLC cannot handle DV. So what gives? Well, it's all down to everyone's favourite subject, licensing. we need more fanfare, get it really riled up. Licensing! In order to play back DV, every part in the chain needs to support it. That includes the source media, CPU or GPU, the player software or game, your TV or monitor, and if you use a sound system, your AV receiver too. Each part in that chain that supports DV has to pay Dolby for licensing. Now some parts in that chain can pass through the signal with DV intact, but if it does any kind of processing to the video, it needs a Dolby Vision license to decode the DV signal. Windows by default does not support Dolby Vision, so you have to download the weird Dolby Vision Extensions app. Your GPU will happily pump out a DV signal from a game, but the reason most games don't have DV is because they have to pay Dolby for each unit sold, which seems like a waste of money considering HDR10 is free and most people won't be able to take advantage of the full Dolby Vision color space anyway with their current setup. More on that in a minute. With video, the only way to play back DV content is with a Film and TV app. Yuck. Otherwise, your colors can be way off. Now, Dolby likes to certify devices to work with DV, which is fine for something like a Fire Stick or an Apple TV. That doesn't really work when it comes to PC, because a PC can be used for a dozen different devices or be custom built. There's no set standard with PC that Dolby can certify. Open source applications like Kodi and VLC are not going to support DV. One, well, because they'd have to pay Dolby for each download of their software. Ouch. And B, DV contains secret proprietary code and licensing that doesn't really fit with the whole open source model. Plex might have a shot at supporting DV, but still on Windows, that's going to be a long road. So why can't other devices like the Fire Stick, the Apple TV and Android play DV like it's nothing? Well, the video players hand off the video processing to the operating system, which is a certified device. So what can we do about this whole mess? Well, we can make some videos and hopefully Dolby notices how stupid they are, but there's not really much else we can do. Dolby are holding all the cards, hoping that they can win the HDR wars. If you want to play DV from your favorite media player or on your home theater PC, there are no options on Windows. And I wouldn't hold your breath either, because it doesn't look like there's going to be a solution anytime soon. And we'll just have to stick with HDR10. But is HDR10 really that bad? Remember what I said a minute ago? HDR10 is free and most people won't be able to take advantage of the full Dolby Vision color space anyway with their current setup. More on that in a minute. yeah, that. The 10 in HDR10 stands for 10-bit. DV uses a 12-bit color space, and there's not much, if any, consumer-grade hardware that can run 12-bit color at peak brightness levels that are needed, which is around 10,000 nits to get the full experience from Dolby Vision. And we haven't really explored everything we can do in the 10-bit color space yet. But many would argue that Dolby Vision, even when running in 10-bit, looks a lot nicer than HDR10. DV does have some secret sauce to make this happen. For one, Dolby Vision uses dynamic metadata, which means that the color information and brightness information are updated every single frame, whereas HDR10 has a fixed point which doesn't change for the whole video or game. HDR10 Plus does use dynamic metadata and should give Dolby Vision a run for its money. So as disappointing as that is, please don't waste any more time trying to get Dolby Vision running on Windows. Outside of the few games where it just works for now, stick with HDR10 or HDR10 Plus if you have it, because it will be years before Dolby Vision is properly supported in Windows, if at all. So that's the story of Dolby Vision on Windows. Leave your tales of Dolby Vision woes in the comments below, and until next time, keep playing and be excellent to each other. SexyTech is the late night tech talk show for grown-ups. Check it out with the link in the video description.